Welcome back aboard Blurred Force One with your boys Mo and Lottie. And today we're going to be reviewing Harley Quinn Season 4, Episode 6. And that's entitled Metamorphosis. And it's coming to you from HBO Max, or I guess just Max. So, what do we think about it? And should you be watching? And before we get into this review, get down there, hit like on this video. Oh, Lottie, they actually did it. I've been wondering if this show, we've seen a lot of people get killed or whatever, but they were just like whoever, villains or something like that. I was wondering if there was going to be an actual, for real death in this. And that was teased at the end of the last episode, and they followed through on it, man. I cannot believe it. But Grayson is dead. So,
I have a theory on that.
I mean, look, Lottie, don't be giving me this whole, Tupac faked his death stuff on this one. That
No, it's actually
his butt
a
was
good
sticking
theory.
out. His butt was sticking out of the casket, man. Come on.
I actually have a good theory on that, but I'll bring that up towards the end of
Yeah.
the review. But yeah, it is kind of crazy that they they decided to kill off Dick Grayson, and we called it that Joker's gonna be a villain again. I was like, yeah,
Not
he's
just.
not
Oh
going.
my God, that part. I cannot believe that. It was so great, but I think we're getting a bit ahead of ourselves. But yeah, Joker making a heel turn, back to his true love, which is doing his crime thing. Ivy is sort of trying to deal with her handlers who are more than they seem to be, and then Babs is just having a tough time dealing with Dick's death, and boy, some rough stuff happens at the Legion of Doom, and Harley's just kind of like trying to keep it together. So this episode. There's more to it than I thought. Than I thought there was going to be on the surface, and the more I think about this episode, the more I realize like they're doing a lot of narrative heavy lifting within this, particularly with some things we were guessing maybe they were heading towards, and one of them is, where is Ivy and Harley's relationship? We haven't seen them barely on screen with each other for a few episodes, right?
Yeah,
And this whole thing with, I think, Nightwing being murdered might be, this might be like the thing that fractures them properly, among other things. So, and also there's a King Shark and Jim Gordon, kind of bond over being fathers. So, Lottie, how did you take this? Did you like this episode?
oh, I like this episode. It was funny. I love seeing Jim Gordon. I'm still a little upset with the marketing of this show saying more Bane. Lies. I haven't seen Bane in like 4 episodes, but yeah, I actually like this episode. It's it's cool to see that, because I already knew it. I was like, yeah, it's cool to see that we might get an actual Joker family. You know what I
That
mean?
was
Not just
awesome. I loved
so
it.
he's just not in it by himself. What else?
Who saw his wife being like, you know what? Actually, I hate this one cashier, and they all got these little evil stares. Next thing you know, they're all gonna be like big Joker, smiles. Like he's been a so-called good dad, but like for whatever reason, the worst things about him have rubbed off on those kids and the wife, and now they're all gonna just be like all Joker clones. I can't believe this, and I can't wait.
Yeah,
It's
I can't wait
yeah.
either. I'm excited. What else? I also it's. Do you want me to go into my theory of
Yeah.
what I think is going on? So me and my brother, we talked about this. I think none of this is happening. None of this season is actually happening. I think all of this is happening in Harley's head. And Harley is in a coma. And here's my reasoning for this. One, it's because remember the last season, it was her trying to get out of Bratman's brain. How do we know that she was able? How do we know she actually got out safely? And then two, remember how did the episode end? She says, "What the fuck? Am I dreaming? Like what the?"
Yeah.
I think none of this is happening. All of this is in her head.
Huh.
She is sleeping. And it's like she's either in a hospital, she's just sleeping. And all of the worst things that could possibly happen is happening.
Right. Which,
I
well, I
think
mean, but to that point, all of the worst things aren't happening. Like, she doesn't have any particular affinity to Dick Grayson. For the most part, she and Ivy are getting along fine. Like, but I mean, it sounds interesting. It would explain the whole doppelganger thing that's going on there and why she's sleepwalking. Which we find out, like, that
yeah.
the sleepwalking is horrible. Like, way
Yeah.
worse than than we thought it would be. Um, she's like stabbing pillows and doing all sorts of crazy stuff in her sleep. So I think that's pretty interesting. Um, Also, I think Ivy's whole little character arc dealing with the Jons. We find out that the Jons are some kind of weird creature. I don't know what we would call them. Some kind of weird cloning creature or whatever. And it's like if Queer Eye for the Straight Guy were social media influencers with superpowers in the DC universe. That's pretty much what you would call them. And it culminates in this big, kaiju fight. We apparently these writers love big kaiju fights. Between the Johns as a big old kaiju and what is it? What's it? Tara and I forget the other girls' names, but the other mentees teaming up with Ivy to sort of have this giant fight, which was I think all of that was really cool. And that like it's doing this episode is doing all the things it's supposed to. There's good action. It's quite funny in many spots, and different plot threads are moving full steam ahead. Like I think it's pretty clear like the Bat family's kind of done right now. Robin's dipped out on them. Uh, Barbara's just sort of like losing it because Dick's dead. And Harley's just not really sure what's going on, and she's even questioning her relationship with Ivy because Ivy is the head of the Legion of Doom, and like this is some shit anyone could have seen far away, right? Like
Yeah.
there's no way this works. This is like it's like if if the CEO of CEO of Coke was was dating like the vice president of Pepsi. Like how's that gonna work? And so
Exactly.
it's really like I've been wondering when this was going to come to a head, and it's clearly it's getting there soon. And I just like seeing Jim Gordon being a fucking idiot, but also sort of being good at being a bad dad. Like he's just a terrible dad, but also he's kind of a good dad. It's fun stuff. Like who knew that we were going to get King Shark and Jim Gordon just like sort of, at least for this episode, being best friends. So I thought all the way around good stuff, especially Barbara Gordon beating the hell out of just anybody. She's a raging drunk and just kicking ass. Fun stuff. I like the episode.
Learned it from the best.
Yeah. Well, she where she gets her alcohol tolerance from. So. But yeah, I think overall pretty good episode. I enjoyed it. Looking forward to what all of these revelations mean. So anyway, I think that's all of our thoughts on this episode. But what did you guys think about it? What did you think about what we had to say? Get down to the comment section. Leave your thoughts there. Of course, you can always hit us up, supernotfunnyshow@gmail.com or at supernotfunnys1 on Twitter. And while you're down there, hit the like button, subscribe to this channel, hit that notification bell. All that good stuff helps more people to see these videos and helps to grow the channel. All right, thanks for joining us. Come back next week. We're going to, talk about the very next episode of Harley Quinn. Until then, I've been Mo, your commenter extraordinaire on all things pop culture, joined by the anime expert, video game designer, and lover of all things superhero, my good friend Lottie. And we'll see you guys on the other side of the thread. Peace.
Peace.